Hello, I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and today we're talking about the governor of the Empire State, Mr. Governor Cuomo, and his sexual harassment scandal. I believe he's up to five accusers now. And this all goes back to a Medium.com post that was, I think, went up in about December that the media just wouldn't touch from one of his top aides, and she detailed three things. Although I don't think she actually detailed them originally in the Medium.com post, but she was really ridiculed after that original post. People really worked hard to minimize her claims and minimize what she had been through. It was kind of sickening to watch. Those people, and you know who you are. You're bad people, right? Essentially, the allegations come down to a couple of inappropriate comments. One about, I think, playing strip poker, and then a forcible touching and a forcible kissing complaint, which, very serious. And, it's worth noting that the description of the forcible touching / forcible kissing complaint of the top aide, the way it was described was almost exactly like a picture provided by a second accuser who, at an event, Governor Cuomo grabbed her by the face, and you can tell from her face she's extraordinarily uncomfortable and perhaps a quarter of his age, and appeared to be intending or trying to force her to kiss him. At least that is certainly what it appears to me. And it would seem that the original accuser, the aide, did not know of the existence of that picture, because how would she when she wrote her account of things? And yet this picture seems to indicate that this is not a one-time indiscretion on the governor's part, right? And, I watched things kind of develop, and for about 2 months, media really wouldn't touch the allegation. And then I think it was Politico. Politico ran with the story, and I think the top aide, she provided a little more detail to what he had put her through, and people attacked her. People attacked her horribly, saying the part of the allegation was that Governor Cuomo made a joke about having some cigars from Bill Clinton as a gift, which, of course, I think many will recall that cigars figured prominently in Bill Clinton's own sex scandal. And people derided her, saying he was just proud of his gift, or it was nothing, it was just a statement, it was not a big deal. But they really ignored the rest of the claims, right? The rest of the events that she was complaining about, which included both, a statement about playing strip poker made in front of multiple witnesses, including the top aide, and of course that event we described, the forcible touching / forcible kissing event. So people really attacked her, and then I will give the New York Times credit. I think it was 24 or 48 hours after Politico ran with the story, the New York Times lived up to some of their ideals and ran the story. I think that's hard. I think that's a hard thing to do right now, because not so long ago, 8 months ago, 9 months ago, people are talking about Governor Cuomo for president, right? He's a little tied in to that Clinton power structure, a little bit, right? So I got to give my credit where credit's due, New York Times. Politico didn't have much to lose. Politico's, it's a scrappy website. It's there to knock people around and fight it out. But that's not really what the New York Times is, right? At least not anymore. But here, they were brave. And that's important. Now, of course, Governor Cuomo is not going to resign. He's been very clear about that. And they're making a big deal. There was some hijinks in who they who they were trying to assign to investigate these allegations within New York State. They tried to get a retired federal judge. They tried to get Governor Cuomo's own attorney general, who I'll give her credit, refused. One, because that'd be wildly inappropriate. Two, and probably more importantly, it would also be poison to her own political aspirations, which I think she has a bit of a rising star status, right? She's going places, and she's a talented politician, well deserved. So why would she get involved in exonerating this idiot who can't keep his hands to himself, right? It's been fun rising up the ranks together, but yeah, I'm not going to kill my career for you, you moron, right? Why would she? So they went with these two big law attorneys who they're really touting as sexual harassment experts. And I mean, I think they do work in the field, certainly. One of them is Clarke, who I have read, and I have not confirmed this. She worked for both Bill Clinton and Steve Cohen. Steve Cohen, who's famously Donald Trump's ex-attorney. They're calling her in the media as someone who's represented many sexual harassment claimants. Well, that may be a factual statement. It may. I've never heard of it. I've never heard of her. I've never seen her represent a claimant in my life. Certainly. Certainly we have plenty of cases with that firm that she works at today. But it's worth noting that's not a firm that represents, generally speaking, plaintiffs. She works at a firm that represents employers. If she's billing herself as a sexual harassment attorney while working at that firm, it's unlikely that a significant portion of her practice deals with representing victims of sexual harassment. I don't know what her case list looks like. I don't have firsthand knowledge. But I know that is a firm that holds itself out and markets itself as a defense firm. A defense attorney, someone who defends sexual harassment cases, in large part by discrediting victims of sexual harassment. It's quite the choice. It's quite the decision to choose Clarke, who worked, I believe, for Bill Clinton and Steve Cohen, both famous villains in the world of sexual harassment. Of course, Steve Cohen was Donald Trump's fixer, who handled Trump's many alleged sexual harassment issues. And Bill Clinton, well, I mean, no slouch himself, right? In the field of doing wrong when it comes to sexual harassment. So, do I think that the selection of these attorneys to investigate is an indication that Cuomo is contrite or an effort to be open and honest? No. You would have to be stupid to think that. This is a bad man. He does bad things. He hired people who help bad men do bad things. That's their job. That's how they make their money.